So most have by now heard about Bitcoin, Ethereum, potentially even Dogecoin, perhaps even the more esoteric such as polkadot and Cardano, but this is just scratching the surface. Per Google, there's over 4,000 cryptocurrencies, and by some estimates this number is closer to 10,000 cryptocurrencies that are currently in the marketplace. Now quite a few of them, they definitely do have a justifiable and verifiable use case and business purpose, but quite a few of them do not, and this has created a significant dark side to the cryptocurrency business, and that is what I want to talk about in this video, the dark side of cryptocurrencies. The biggest challenge with cryptocurrencies is that it's an unregulated market, right? There aren't those checks and balances that you would typically see in, for example, the stock market to assess the legitimacy of some of these cryptocurrencies, and that is what has exposed or created a significant dark side to this whole cryptocurrency market. It's a universe that is absolutely filled with pump and dump type of schemes as well as pyramid schemes. And yet there's so much demand for these cryptos, these altcoins, these S coins, if you will. What's driving the demand is the stories definitely help. Okay, more recently you're hearing about the Dogecoin millionaire who basically YOLO'd $180,000 of his savings into Dogecoin, was a millionaire shortly thereafter. If you watch any of the social media sites, right, whether it's Insta or Facebook, YouTube, and even TikTok, you'll see lots and lots of videos about people who have 100x, 10,000x, a million x their dollars that they've invested in the cryptocurrency market. And all of these success stories definitely creates this need, this fear of missing out, which is driving a significant amount of demand towards these S coins. And people are willing to jump through all sorts of hoops in order to obtain these altcoins, okay? I mean, even if you look at the SafeMoon website, this is the recommended approach that I'm showing here in terms of how you would go about buying SafeMoon. It's definitely not intuitive, and a lot of folks who are entering this game in the first place, they're very confused with this notion, but are willing to go the lengths that it takes to earn that quick buck. The quest for the next S coin is absolutely on high alert, so let's talk a little bit deeper and let's take a look into the dark side of this crypto game. Before I go too far into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. So the first thing to note here is, why are there so many? Okay, the first thing to get out of your head is a notion that it's not difficult to make one of these S coins and basically get them on one of the exchanges such that they can be actively traded. Heck, there are YouTube videos on how do you go about making an altcoin, right? So once you're done liking this video and subscribing to the channel, definitely go ahead and watch some of those videos so that you can see how easy it is to make some of these coins. Now, one thing to note is that you can even buy off-the-shelf code for some of these crypto assets, if you will. Typically, it takes about $5,000 to get you up and running such that you basically have one of these crypto coins. Point being that the barrier to entry to actually create a cryptocurrency is extremely low, right? Once you have developed your cryptocurrency and you kind of like have an idea in terms of how you're basically going to profit from it, the next thing to do is basically come up with a catchy name. Catchy names go a long way, right? And it's typically a good idea to potentially piggyback off a name of an existing cryptocurrency, okay? So some of these like SafeMoon or Shiba Inu, they all have some level of relationship to Dogecoin, and that's what makes some of these crypto assets a lot more attractive for an investor. Once you have a coin and once you have a catchy name, the next thing you probably want to do is create some buzz around it, right? So then you want to create a little bit of legitimacy there as well. You want to, for example, have a website. You want to create a white paper on it. All those thoughts that you had in terms of why this crypto that you're basically making is going to be so legitimate, you want to put that down on paper and basically publish it on your website as well. And then you want to create a whole bunch of handles so that you can use those handles on various social media platforms in order to basically promote this cryptocurrency that you have created. So once you have all of that done, all of which can be done for a very, very nominal price, you're on your way so that you can basically list your cryptocurrency onto an exchange. Now, the natural response probably at this point is that, hey, this is where they get you, right? This is where it's going to get a little complicated. This is where it's just going to be all of these barriers that would basically shield an investor and prevent them from engaging or investing in something absolutely ridiculous. But the fact of the matter is that is not the case, okay? We're talking about the crypto exchanges here. We're not talking about your NASDAQ or your NYSE. For $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, you can get your crypto asset listed on one of these exchanges. So it's a very nominal fee considering what you're planning on generating from your particular cryptocurrency. So by now you're about $30,000 in, right? You put in about $25,000 approximately to get yourself listed and fill in some paperwork. You've got another $5,000 invested in actually developing the coin. You probably have a few other $100 or so, just a rounding error, just in terms of creating the infrastructure around it. So not too bad, right? You're right around $30,000 into this prospect that can potentially realize for you millions and millions, if not billions of dollars on the back end. The next thing that you need to focus on is how do you market this thing, okay? So this is probably the Achilles heel for the developer community. You need to know who your buyer is. The typical buyer of a lot of these crypto assets is a male somewhere in their 20-year-old range, okay? And the most of the time that particular audience spends in terms of doing whatever it is that they do is on the internet, okay? So they're typically on social media sites, they'll be on TikTok, YouTube, and that's where you need to basically garner their attention such that they can basically invest into your cryptocurrency, or they can buy it off one of these exchanges. So this is where they enter the world of the influencer, if you will. So here you're looking for the star or the starlet that is going to basically help you or promote your cryptocurrency on their social media platform. Yeah, you want the star or a starlet to be of reasonable, should have a reasonable amount of followers, okay? A few 100,000 followers and rising is definitely the right place to be when it comes to pushing or advocating for your cryptocurrency. How do you find some of these people? Well, I would say just spend about 20 minutes or so in any of these platforms and you'll find them pretty quickly, okay? Just basically put it in the search box that you're looking for cryptocurrencies, and you'll see a whole slew of videos. You'll see their names and their handles, and you basically start clicking on them, send them some direct messages, and ask them to basically be a spokesperson where it's promoting your cryptocurrency. Now, why would they want to do it? Well, in order to make it attractive for them, you would need to give them something in return, okay? Whether it's a certain stash of the cryptocurrencies that you have basically created, or perhaps there should be another incentive type of mechanism. Perhaps it's another $5,000 to $10,000, such that these influencers basically promote your cryptocurrency, okay? So this is where it starts racking up a little bit in terms of how much you're actually spending on promoting your cryptocurrency. And net, by the time it's all said and done, from a marketing perspective, if you do this right, you'll probably out another $100,000 or so in order to get your cryptocurrency moving, okay? Now, obviously, right, the bigger your influencer, the more costly it's going to be, okay? So more recently, I know a lot of folks saw Dave Portnoy's video, I think it was on Twitter perhaps, but he basically said that he was going to invest in SafeMoon. Now here, I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that SafeMoon basically paid him in any way, it's just that he basically picked up their currency to effectively promote it. The goal here is to create buzz, right? The goal here is to create this fear of missing out, right? If you can have a viral situation where your crypto market price moves up a little bit, and then you have other people kind of like latching onto it and promoting it in that regard, and then getting this whole network effect associated with all of this, it'll definitely get your cryptocurrency moving a lot faster, and then you realizing the benefits out of all of it. It's actually quite unbelievable, and the reality of it is it's not even all that far-fetched, okay? This is what's happening right now. It's happening in the business right now, and while there's a lot of legitimate cryptocurrencies out there, this is what's resulting in delegitimizing and exposing this underbelly of the crypto game, and unless there is some level of regulation associated with all of this, it's going to create a significant problem when it comes to this cryptocurrency market. Now, I'm not doing this as an endorsement, right? I'm definitely not endorsing these altest of altcoins or these S coins by any stretch of the imagination, nor am I providing some type of a blueprint here, right? In terms of how do you go about basically screwing the investor community. I'm not talking about any of that stuff, okay? This is primarily to make this somewhat informative, right? To let you know that this type of game actually exists in the marketplace currently, and therefore it is very important for you to do your own due diligence before you invest in any of these crypto assets. Having some basic level of knowledge in terms of what these cryptos actually are, what is their use case, what are they trying to achieve, is going to go a long way, as you would with any other type of investment, is to know what it is that you are investing in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the contents of this video, especially if you stuck around till the very end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.